And we are live. Welcome to the Hope Medicines podcast. This is episode 31, man. Episode 31. I'm back potting, like I said before. And I'm gonna give y'all some consistent pods, Consistent, great pods. That's my mission. Let me make sure the stream is being shared. Y'all know the deal when y'all come on. Let me know y'all here. Let me know y'all here. Let me know y'all here, cause I'm here. But yeah, just want to be able to get y'all consistent pods, and that's what the goal is, and that's what the mission is, getting accomplished. Consistent, great pods, something to listen to, something to edify you, something to uplift you, something to inspire you, encourage you. So if y'all have any topics, if y'all ever have any topics, just I'm I'm open to listen to whatever topics, whatever y'all want to hear. Um, but yeah, we're gonna get into this one. We're gonna get into this one. We're gonna get into this one. And this one is called Embracing the Call of Leadership. So this gonna be a good one. I just felt like the Lord was like, this is the one that you need to talk about. Cause this is literally the season that I'm in, and I know there may be someone who is also in this season. So I want to be able to help y'all out. And as I help myself, as the Lord helps me, I want to be able to help y'all too. Drop some gems on y'all. And just learn. Learn how to be a good leader. So I'm here, B Row. If y'all don't know me, Brandon Rowe, podcaster, father of three, husband, trainer. Hey, shout out to Heart of Lion Training. Come through, get right. We promote everything over here. Promote all the different things that we do. Got the music, Apple Music, you can download. Merch. I got some more merch to to put out, and it's lit. We on the up and up. We on the up and up. I'm back potting, and like I said, I'm gonna give y'all bi-weekly pods. Bi-weekly. I'm gonna deliver some heat to you, you know. But let's get to it. No further ado, let's get to the topic at hand. All right, so embracing the call of leadership is the topic. And I just felt like the Lord was like, yeah, this is what you need to talk about. So, all right. So, a leader, the head person in charge. Let's go with what makes a good leader. Some characteristics of a good leader. A good leader is a good teacher. A teacher, someone who's able to teach. A good leader. So there was a book of Nehemiah that really helped me with leadership that I recently came about. What I recently came upon. And it was some good word in there. It was some good words. So we're gonna touch on that. A good leader stands firm in what he knows. A great leader is a great student, someone who is willing to learn. You can't show me one great leader that wasn't willing to learn, that wasn't willing to sit under someone and just understand what they knew. They know how to get the job done. A good leader know how to get the job done. Plain and simple. A good leader is not selfish. A good leader is trustworthy. A good leader encourages. All right, let's touch on some of these because there's some scripture that follows. Okay, So when we talk about delegating and counting the cost, let's go to Nehemiah 2:5-7. Like I said, on this pod, we love the word of God, right? So we read the word of God, plain and simple. We read the word. So that's what we're going to do. Nehemiah 2:5-7. Oh, let me give y'all some background on Nehemiah right quick. Okay, so Nehemiah found out that Jerusalem, his home city, walls had been destroyed, right? So the walls was what protected the city, right? What protected the city, kept the enemy out, right? So just imagine a house without walls, right? Everybody can come in, take whatever they want. They can see everything. It's just unprotected, right? So Nehemiah noticed, he got the message, noticed like, oh no. And he became depressed, like, man, what's going on? My city is looking bad. And he was like, I need to do something. So Nehemiah was a cupbearer, armor bearer. He was under the king, right? Serving him and everything like that. The king noticed Nehemiah was depressed. Like, all right, Nehemiah, look like something wrong with him. So he asked him, Nehemiah, what's going on? He let him know my city the walls is destroyed and it's just looking bad. And he asked, could he go help? And the king actually said, what you need? And he asked, could he go help restore the walls? And he'd be back. So he goes and he says, the king says, how long will you need? Right. So we talk about counting the cost. Nehemiah literally counted the cost and was like, yo, I need this many days. And asked him for further provision, asked him to write a note so that he could get some wood and stuff like that and different things so that he could do what he needed to do, right? So he did that, went to go do it, brought his homies, brought the crew. I like to bring it into terms that y'all can understand. Brought his crew and they got the building a wall. And of course they had people come trying to mess up the wall and do all type of stuff, but they were able to get the job accomplished due to his great leadership. And let me show y'all how. Okay. So Nehemiah 2:5-7, it says, so the king with the queen seated beside him asked, how long will your journey take and will you return? So I gave him a definite time and it pleased the king to send me. So he gave him a definite time. This is when I'm gonna get it done. You talking about someone who is good at their job, good at what they do. He gave him a definite time. This is when I'm gonna get it done. So that's confident. That's boldness right there, right? Okay, it says Nehemiah counted the cost for the build. Nehemiah brought men with him and began delegating the different assignments so that the job could get done in the most proficient way. A good leader knows how to delegate his people properly. A good leader is also willing to make adjustments. Nehemiah noticed the people were coming against what he was doing, and he prayed to God, then put a guard in place. So during Nehemiah rebuilding the walls, right? He noticed that there were enemies that came and were trying to destroy what he was building. So one thing is a good leader protects what he builds, right? A good leader protects his family. A good leader protects the things that he builds, right? So good at delegation, good at counting costs, good at protecting what he has. Good leader protects. So he had realized, okay, they need protection right here. And he put a guard in place, prayed to the Lord and put a guard in place. He seeked the Lord for wisdom. And that's what we all need to do. So let's go Nehemiah 4:11-19. It says, and our enemies said they won't realize it until we're among them and can kill them and stop the work. When the Jews who lived nearby arrived, they said to us time and time again, everywhere you turn, they attack us. So I stationed people behind the lowest section of the wall at the vulnerable areas. So he realized what areas they were attacking at. You talking about discernment. He realized what area they were attacking at and uh staged people there, right? He stationed them by families with their swords, spears, and bows. So they was armed with that thing. You feel me? They wasn't just out here just in position and not armed with a weapon, right? After I made an inspection, I stood up and said to the nobles, the officials, and the rest of the people, don't be afraid of them. Remember the great and awe-inspiring Lord and fight for your countrymen, your sons, your daughters, and your wives and your home. So he said, don't be afraid. So Nehemiah put the people in position, but also encouraged the people that he was around and said, don't be afraid. I the Lord will do exactly what he said he was going to do. He will protect us. So a good leader encourages through the battle, encourages through the storm, encourage, you know, you know that you're going to go through stuff, right? Everybody go through stuff. And a good leader has the ability to encourage the people to keep going. Life happens. A good leader encourages, right? So that's one great tip that we need to know. A good leader has to encourage. But first, even first, a good leader must embrace leadership, right? You can't run from leadership and be a good leader, right? You must embrace it. You must take it on and be like, okay, if the Lord put me in this position, then I'm going to do my best at it, right? The Lord sees something inside of me that I may not see inside of myself, but I'm going to choose to do what I got to do. I'm going to choose to handle business. I'm going to choose to lead, right? So you must embrace leadership. A leader that does not embrace leadership isn't a leader. You can't truthfully be a leader and not embrace the call of leadership, right? You have to embrace it. You have to take it on. You can't run from it. You know, you can't try to give it to somebody else. I mean, you can, but that's not going to help you. So a true leader must embrace the pressures of leadership and embrace it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. A leader must embrace that and take it on and do what he got to do. Right? So let's get back to this script. It says, when our enemies heard that we knew their schemes, that God has frustrated it, every one of us returned to his own work on the wall. From that day on, half of my men did the work while the other half held spears, shield, bows, and armor. So he said, after that, half of my men worked and the other half held swords, shields, and armor and protected, right? The officer supported all the people of Judah who were rebuilding the wall. The laborers who carried the load worked with one hand and held a weapon with the other hand. So like they literally worked with one hand and held weapons with the other. That's a that's a great team right there. That was willing to make an adjustment, willing to, first of all, they was cold. To be able to work with a sword in the hand and build a wall, that's some cold junk. Like people sleeping, that's cold for real. Man, sometimes I can barely do this and that, but they got the sword in their hand and they building a wall, rebuilding a wall. Like that's sweet, right? And that's all through the guidance, through the delegation of Nehemiah, who seen fit for them to do that. Like, all right, y'all don't have to protect and build. So a good leader must protect and build, right? Protect what you build. Nobody wants to. It remind me of my daughter. So when she building blocks, right? When she building the blocks, she's stacking little Lego blocks and everything like that, and she's stacking them, stacking them. And my son is coming, and he trying to knock them down. My son don't want nothing to do with him but to knock him down. He's trying to come knock down what she has started to build. And she's doing everything to try to keep him from getting to those blocks, keep him off of what she's building, right? Because she values what she's building so much that she would like fend him off. fight him so that he can't destroy what she's building. So that's literally how we have to be. We have to be willing to hold off the enemy and build and build and build and build and keep stacking those blocks and keep um, protecting what we're building. But first, how can you build without a vision, right? You must envision what you're building. Okay, I'm about to build this, right? So you see that, you start at it, and then you'll have people come, you'll have stuff come at you, and you have to be willing to get back, protect that vision, protect what you're building, and just keep building, keep building, keep building. And it's funny because when she get done, she be so happy. She be so happy to show what she's built. But that's like us, right? When we do something with our hands, we be so happy to show it off. Look what I did. Look what the Lord strengthened me to do. Look what these hands did, right? So that's just like my daughter in those blocks. So that's just I never really thought of that, but that's literally how it says they were, where they hold swords in one hand and they were building in the other. So that's how we got to be. We got to hold swords and build at the same time, protect and build, 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 protect and build. That's what we got to do. We got to stay locked in, stay building, don't be discouraged. And then even when sometimes when it messes up, like when it falls down, we have to continue to pick it up, build it, continue to build it. It won't be easy, you know. It won't be easy. Might pick it up and try again, but just keep building and keep staying protecting that thing, you know. So that's just amazing to just think about that. So let's get back to so a good leader trusts his voice. A good leader trusts the voice that they have. They trust that what they're saying is right, right? Not that they are prideful or anything like that, but they're confident in what they're saying. They believe in what they're saying. Nobody wants to follow someone who does sound inconsistent in what they're saying. It sounds double-minded in their thinking. That's just saying something, but there's no excitement behind it. Oh, y'all, I think I want to build I think I want to build a skyscraper. No, hey y'all, I want to build a skyscraper. I need y'all. Like it's a different feel that you give when you trust your voice, where you trust your vision, where you're trusting what the Lord has given you to say. So a good leader has to trust in their voice, has to trust in what they're saying, has to trust in their abilities to get the job done, right? A good leader is not selfish. A good leader is not selfish at all, right? Let's go Philippians 2:3. 1 second. It says, do nothing from a selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility, count others more significant than yourself. It says, don't do anything from a selfish place, right? But it says, but in humility, count others more significant, right? So a good leader is not selfish, right? A good leader is looking for the betterment of the team, the betterment of the people, right? All right, what will help the people? How can I help the people? How can I help them? How can I help this? How can I help the process, right? How can I make it easier, right? Right? A good leader is not just thinking about it themselves, right? And not just thinking about me, 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 me. Nah, that's not a good leader. A good leader is a servant at heart, willing to serve. Just how Christ was willing to serve, right? So that's what a good leader does. He serves, right? And it's through the servitude, through his service, does he get put to lead, right? It's through what he has done, right? Him serving faithfully that he gets more added to him, right? And it's keeping that same mindset of servitude, right? Not allowing for a position to get to your head, right? But staying low, right? Staying humble through it all, no matter where you're going, no matter the height, but staying low, willing to stay humble and know that it's only the Lord that has done it, and it was only through servitude. It was only through serving. So when that's at the forefront of our minds, then we doing what we're supposed to do. We able to lead properly, right? And you will know this person has no problem getting dirty. This person has no problem getting dirty. So you're willing to serve that person. Okay, if I wasn't here, this person would be doing this, right? So that's a characteristic, another good characteristics of a leader, right? So let's talk about this thing that I feel like is a hindrance when it comes to leadership, like a big hindrance. And first of all, before I even get to that, um I've came into the role of being a leader, right? And no matter how it comes, when it comes, it's an adjustment period. When you go from um just being a employee um or just being a lay member and stuff like that, and you become a leader, um there's a there's more that's required of you. The bar get raised, right? The responsibilities now get raised. You're now held accountable for more. You're now held to a higher extinct. Like you're now looked at um in a different way, right? So in that, you must embrace that. Not get conceited about it, but you must embrace the fact, yeah, I am a leader, which means if I'm a leader, that means people are going to follow me. And where am I leading the people? What am I causing people to want to get behind me, or am I causing people to go want to go the other way? Want to get far away from me? Am I um leading people to a good place? You know, am I being the best leader I can be? And it's like I said, it's an adjustment period. And then once you take on different responsibilities in leadership, it's all about you just developing, you learning, and you just um taking keys from everybody, learning what you can learn. Eat the meat, spit out the bone. There's certain things that you'll learn. You remain that student, you'll continue to lead good. You continue to learn. Don't feel like you have arrived. The moment you feel like, oh yeah, I've arrived, I'm the best, whatever, something like that, man, you have failed. You are falling. You are falling. You are falling. So just getting comfortable as a leader, you know, getting comfortable with your voice, getting comfortable with what you do and stuff like that. And just not being okay with making mistakes. A good leader is not somebody that doesn't make mistakes. It's somebody who learns from their mistakes and fixes things, make adjustments, right? There's nobody perfect. So we all gonna make mistakes, but a good leader sees the mistake and addresses the mistake and fixes it, right? Fixes like, okay, that didn't work last time, so let me make an adjustment. Let me figure out what works and let me do it. The quicker I figure out what works, the quicker I figure out what went wrong, the quicker I can fix it. So that's what a good leader do. They assess issues, and the issue might be yourself. Hey man, you was You did not speak when you were supposed to speak. You said that wrong, and things like that. And they must be willing to look at themselves and check themselves every day as a leader. That's how you embrace leadership. Now I want to talk about one big hindrance in leadership, and that is the fear of man, right? And let me give y'all a list of how the fear of man can manifest, right? So the fear of man can manifest in many ways, right? So this is just a list of many ways the fear of man can manifest. Peer pressure, feeling peer pressure to make a decision, peer pressure to do this, do that. Desire for approval, avoiding conflict or rejection, compromise, silence when there should be a declaration, inaction when action is demanded, talking too much, not talking at all, not praying in public, not serving others, asking people's opinion about all things, modifying behavior to please others, doing things for the approval of others. A good leader, right? So doing things for the approval of others. I was about to get into something else. Um, so I definitely have seen them characteristics, them different things manifest. And me, I have seen it. And I had to and have to fight that every day, you know, because when you deal with different wounds, parent wounds, and things like that, it's very easy for a fear man to set in where you're now doing things so that somebody else can value you. You're doing something seeking approval, or you're avoiding conflict and stuff like that. You don't really, you're not addressing issues. You're being real passive and stuff like that because you fear man. You fear the response of man, right? You fear, oh yeah, they might do this, they might say this, they might do that, whatever like that. And that right there is a huge hindrance when it comes to leadership, allowing the fear of man to silence you. And that's what it does. That spirit comes to silence you, right? To stop you from speaking, to stop you from growing into the leader that you're supposed to be, right? So you literally have to be like, nah, I'm gonna speak up. I gotta speak up. I have to tell them that I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Hey, when you did that, you have to talk. A good leader is a good communicator. They have the ability to communicate. They know what to say, how to say it. They know that they have to say something. And they know that if they're silent, then that won't be good. That won't be good. A leader has to be vocal. A leader has to open their mouths and speak even if it's uncomfortable, right? But the more you do it, the more you choose to step out and talk, the easier it becomes. The more you choose to be vocal, the more you choose to address issues, the easier it becomes to address issues, right? It'll become easier because it's like, all right, yeah, had to address this issue the other day with somebody, so it's not for me to address another issue, because you see the big purpose. All right, the purpose is getting the job done. And if what you're doing is causing the job not to be done or making it harder on somebody else, then I have to talk. right? I have to either have a conversation with you, and either, if you're not willing to change, be willing to move that person out of the way. Hey, if you're not able to get the job done, then I'll have to get somebody else that can get the job done. No hard feelings or anything like that, but we need results. A good leader get results, right? A good leader gets results, because when the results don't happen, they looking at you. You know, when the results don't happen, they looking directly at you. Like, why this thing get done? You had this time. Why this thing get done? Why? And what you gonna say? No, it's on you. So a good leader is willing to embrace the responsibilities and not allow for the fear of man to keep them from leading. Lead. Lead. Lead how you know to lead. Don't worry about other people. Do what you need to do. And ultimately, you're supposed to do it for the Lord. If you're a follower of Christ, everything you do is for the Lord, right? So in you, being a good leader, it shines. Is you shining a light. It's the light shining through you, where people be like, okay, what about him? He's something about him. The way he leads is amazing. It's something about it, So they grow to respect that, and you let them know it's the Lord. I take my keys from the Lord. So let's get into script. Proverbs 29:25 says, "The fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." A snare is a lure or a trap. A fisherman sometimes uses a snare to catch fishes. A hunter used various kinds of snares to trap game, and Satan used snares to trap human beings. One of those snares is a fear of man. That's one snare. And I have seen that snare. Best believe I have seen that snare. The fear of man can both be physical and psychological. Jesus said to his followers, "I tell you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, and after that can do no more. But I'll show you whom you should fear." Say, don't fear them. Fear him who, after your body has been killed, has authority to throw it into hell. Yes, I tell you, you fear him. He's talking about himself. Because it's the fear of the Lord that keeps you from the fear of man. Where your desire is to be right with God. So everybody else don't matter. Everybody else, if you don't like me, you don't like me, and it is what it is. But I'm doing it for the Lord, and I just want to make sure I'm right with him. If you don't like me, then I can't help it. My desire is to please him. And if that bothers you, then it is what it is. It is what it is. My job is to follow Christ and to be the best leader that he called me to be. Not that you called me to be. Right? So it says, Jesus was preparing the disciples for physical persecution that will follow his resurrection. They will be beaten, stoned, flogged, and imprisoned. Many of them will be killed. Yet he warned them not to let the fear of man stop them from proclaiming the gospel. Even though his followers will undergo tremendous physical suffering for his sake, the trials will be brief and temporary. Right? So even with that, persecution can come in different forms. Persecution may come with somebody talking about you. You've been doing everything right, but yet they got a problem with you and they talking about you. Oh, this person thinking all that. This person do. That person do. And you may hear it. And most of it you may not hear. But is that going to stop you from opening your mouth? No. There's a job to be done. So being okay with being persecuted for the sake of Christ. You can ridicule me, talk about me, persecute, whatever. It is what it is. But I got a job to get done. I got a job to get done. I got a responsibility to handle. And if I'm not able to handle that responsibility, they look for somebody else to handle responsibility. Because they got a job to get done too. So I've recently come into the a role of supervising people. And I've been learning on the job. Learning on the job. I feel like life, my life, I've been learning on the job and things like that. And these are just things that I picked up. Okay, you got to make an adjustment. Yesterday, it went okay, but you didn't open your mouth enough. You didn't tell the people what was needed, what was required, what you needed to do. You fix things and not got them to fix it. You worked yourself too hard and not allow for them to work and things like that. So just learning on a daily basis. Okay, this is probably what I should do. This is probably what I shouldn't do. I wasn't vocal enough. Okay, well, today I'll be vocal. Not that I'll be extra, but I'll make sure I open my mouth when I need to open my mouth. I won't be passive, right? I won't not say something when I see an issue, right? I'll address the issue and address a problem, and I'll be willing to speak. Be willing to speak and not worry about the after, the this and that. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that you say anything, but I'm saying if you are speaking on the things that need to be done or the things that whatever like that, then that's perfectly fine. And you speaking with respect and gentleness. You ain't just going off on people, but you speaking and you're demanding them to do something that needs to be done. So it's through that where you see, the response. How will people respond to me? And that's a question that a leader asks when they first taking on. How will people respond to me when I do this? How will people respond if I say this? How will people respond? You learn. Sometimes you learn, oh dang, I probably should have said this. I probably used the wrong terms. And also, a good leader has counsel. A good leader is not just a alone, has no wise counsel near them. That's not a good leader. A good leader needs accountability, needs somebody to pull them to the side. Hey, you was tripping. You was tripping when you said this. And then they must be willing to hear them out. Okay, dang. Maybe I was tripping because the perspective different from you saying it and somebody else on the other side, an outsider, them hearing it is just two different things. So being willing to have people around you that's willing to talk to you, willing to be like, hey, yo, man, I know you meant to, but you kind of, whatever like that. And having trustworthy people. I'm not just saying anybody, because some people just gonna have an issue with anything you say. Oh, you said this, whatever like that. But I'm talking about people that keep it real. And you have to have people that keep it real around you to let you know when you slipping, when you need to pick it up, when you need to talk more, express yourself more, everything like that. But a good leader must be a sponge, must pick up on stuff. And there's certain things that may not be said to you, but the good leader eyes are always open. Like, oh, okay. I see that was what caused the people to respond in that way. Okay, so I need to probably tighten up. I probably need to, speak this way or different things like that. And you'll see the things that you need to do and stuff like that. Some people catch on. Some people going to, give you pushback. I feel like pushback is necessary. There's some type of resistance necessary in building a good leader. When it's all woo nilly, I don't have any problems, any issues, any whatever. You be a leader long enough, you'll have some issues. You'll have some people push back. You'll have some incidents and some things like that. You'll have that. If you lead long enough, you'll see it. Like, oh, okay, I had this issue. And then also, you'll have days where you like, forget all this. Man, I go back. Where you literally like, man, you sure? Am I sure that I want to lead? And things like that. And them legit questions that you'll have after you have a stressful day or a stressful time, whatever like that. You'll be like, man. But the thing is, the Lord called you. Then He called you. So you got to deal with Him if you're trying to run away. Right? The call is upon you. So I just want to speak to those people who either are embarking on leadership, either want to be a leader or have come into leadership. If you're called, God qualifies you. He qualifies the called. So don't seek to be qualified when He qualified you. When He called, the call, it's a qualification. He gave you the call and He qualified you to do what you're going to do. Does that mean that you won't have to learn something? No, that doesn't mean that you won't have to learn. But what I'm saying is you don't have to seek qualification. You don't have to seek that when He has already validated you. He has already stamped you with approval. This is my son who I'm well pleased. He's already said that. So there's no reason to seek more validation. You have already been validated. You wouldn't have been put in the position if they knew that you couldn't handle it. They've been watching people, and they've seen, okay, this person looks like they can handle that position. And they don't know 100% until you're in it, till you're in the heat. But they have been looking and just seeing, oh, this person probably is a good leader. This person probably might be good at leadership and stuff like that. And then you'll see. But like I said, a good leader has to embrace leadership, has to not allow a fear of man to stop them from leading. Lead. Don't allow for the peer pressures of the outside. Oh, I need to do this, do that, do that. Or the compromise. Oh, now you compromising because of people. When you know that you need to live a life that where you're in the world, but you're not of the world, where you need to live set apart, but yet you're compromising to try to be cool with people. If me having to do something that is not of God causes you to like me, then sorry, you just not gonna like me because I can't choose to compromise for you. I can't choose to compromise my relationship with God, compromise different things to appease you. Can't do it. Nah, can't do it. And it's funny because sometimes you may be cool with somebody, but the moment that you um go into get into a role of leadership, that changes because they always looked at you as a fellow, fellow person. But now they have to take orders from you. Now you have to tell them what to do. And now you'll see, that it could cause a rift, you know. But if they were super solid and stuff like that, you just doing your job, they know you're just doing your job, they will help you, not push back and things like that. So leadership is a must. And if you're called to do it, embrace the call. Embrace the cross. Embrace the carrying of it, because it comes with a weight. Comes with different weights, comes with different responsibilities and things like that. So you must be like, all right, I'll do it. Even if I'm not feeling it today, I'll still do what I'm supposed to do. I find the feeling in the midst of it, or I may not, but I'm still do it, and I'm gonna do it to my best ability, right? So, just understanding what it is to lead and how you should lead. Should lead with integrity, right? With a strong sense of integrity. And 1 Timothy 4:12, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Paul letter to Timothy is just a good book pertaining to leadership. I'm gonna share some scriptures. Then I'm gonna let y'all go. It says 1 Timothy 4:12, don't let anyone despise your youth, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct and love and faith and purity. Say don't let people despise you because of your youth, but set an example for the believers in speech and conduct and love and faith and purity. Set an example, right? Don't let them despise you because you're young. Because like I said, the Lord calls who he calls and qualifies who he calls. So don't let them despise you because you're young when they don't know what all you've been through. They don't know that you were David in the field slaying lions and bears. So when they see you go up to Goliath, they like, what are you doing? But I've already handled a Goliath. So this Goliath is nothing. So don't let people despise you because of your youth, because you're young. When they don't know your story, they don't know what the Lord has been doing in your life. They don't know. Right? But they will soon see. So this one, 1 Timothy 3, 1-7. 1 second, y'all. I get some tea. It says their saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspires the office of the overseer, he desires a noble task. Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-controlled, respectable, hospitable, able to teach, not a drunkard, not a violent, but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. He must manage his own household well, with all dignity, keeping his children submissive. For if someone does not know how to manage his own household, how will he care for God's church? Each of the builders has a sword. That was going into something else. But that's the characteristics of a good leader. Must be a good steward. Self-control, sober-minded, a man of one wife, above reproach, not violent but gentle, not quarrelsome, not a lover of money. It says he must manage his own household well, for all dignity, keeping his children submissive, right? So these are qualities of a good leader, right? Being hospitable, respectful, self-controlled, sober minded. These are good qualities of a leader. So those are things to take in. Things to take in and just allow for the word of God ultimately to teach you how to be a good leader. Show you how to be a good leader. Ask the Lord, Lord, you've called me to a role where I'm leading. There's people following me. I want to do everything the way that you want me to do it. I know I'll make mistakes, but I desire to just follow you and allow for you to lead me and show me what it is I need to say, what it is I need to do, what it is that I need to change, and allowing for God to pull that leader out, right? To pull them those great characteristics, those great characteristics of a leader, to just pull them out, put them inside of you, because they inside. You just got to pull them out. Sometimes it takes some turbulence. Sometimes people learn your gentleness through you having to be quiet when somebody is talking crazy, when somebody is yelling, doing all type of stuff, but yet you being self-controlled and things like that. So, man, I hope that y'all enjoyed this pod. I love to pod. I love to speak on the things that the Lord gives me to speak about. I love to just be able to share the different things that the Lord gives me in hopes of helping somebody, in hopes of showing them or giving them different gems that might help them in life. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect leader, not at all, but I'm a leader that's embracing leadership, that's learning how to do it, and is allowing the Lord to teach me, give myself grace, and just learn and just continue to make disciples, continue to teach others and things like that. So I thank you for the platform to do what I'm called to do. So I just thank y'all for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tapping in with your boy. I ask that y'all watch bi-weekly. This is the week of the pod. I ask that y'all watch, y'all share, y'all like, y'all comment, leave your comments afterwards, leave your whatever you need to say. Just let me know if you enjoyed it, if you like it. Just help me out. Help me to get the message out. Help others to know what it is to have the Lord, know the Lord. So I just thank y'all for the time, and I love y'all. This has been episode 31, Embracing Leadership, from your boy, Brandon Rowe, B Rowe, Hope Medicine Podcast, and we is out.